ready?
Yep.
All right. Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast, where we're just a couple of average bros with above average fantasy football knowledge. It's your boy T here.
It's your boy Anthony.
And it's your boy Diggy Duggy Dog, Diggy Dude. I'm just kidding. My name's Michael Marcanio.
Follow him at Michael Marcanio.
/ throw up all
You know
over
what
the
I
place.
noticed? All of our Instagram handles are all just our full names. It's very nice.
Because we're very average.
Yeah.
Yeah, super average.
Except in the pants.
Oh.
I'm pretty average.
Not the Asian one.
Yeah. Dude, I am Asian, huh?
Dude, yeah.
See?
Bro.
Explains itself.
Anyway, so we're here. It's the off season. Football's over. Fantasy football's over. Football's officially over. We're into the, I guess you want to call the 2019 off season. Most people don't really care about football, but that's what we're here for. We're here to just, stay up to date on all the news and, the action that's going around the league, certain trades, free agency that's coming up, the draft's coming up, this is what we're here for. We're trying to make it easier for you guys so that way when the draft season comes around, we can have all this information for you guys so you guys are up to date on what's going on. So a lot of news that's been going around this last week or so.
Yeah, we're here for the degenerates, the AA of fantasy football players.
Yeah.
The AAF.
If you can't get enough.
What is it? The AAFL? The new league?
No, I think it's just the AAF, Alliance American Football. Oh, maybe AFL.
It's AAF.
I think it is AAF.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We might have to get in some AAF fantasy.
Yeah, we might have to.
I mean,
name 3 AAF players.
Dude, I don't know about you guys, but I'm in a 16-team keeper league already, bro, and this shit is bonkers.
is Ricky Williams in there?
16. How could you find 16 people to fucking play?
Dude, is there even enough players to make
I
a 16
literally don't even know
team?
one player.
Honestly, though, AAF is way too hard to say. NFL is all.
It is kind of hard to say.
AAF, it doesn't roll off the tongue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was seeing something. They were saying a guy was proposing a rule. He was saying that they should have the AAF or whatever it is. And then, whoever wins that championship then gets to challenge the worst team in the NFL as, a get-in. And then if they beat that team, they're now in the NFL, and that team gets demoted to the AA.
I kind of like that.
Dude,
or whatever.
That's actually how the the soccer English Premier League is. They have a Premier League, and then there's 16 teams in there, and every once in a while you can get booted up to there, but it's really really hard to do that.
Yeah.
To make it up into that league. But they have lower leagues that you have to try and get into there.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
I kinda wanted
then
to-
you couldn't tank it necessarily because
Because you're oh, we'll lose a draft pick.
Yeah.
Nope, you ain't even going to be in the draft.
Yeah.
yeah, right. Seriously.
Yeah, but so there's a model for it. I mean, I don't think it would ever happen, but
Yeah,
Like a male model?
Jesus, fuck, dude. Yeah, dude, I am a male model, dude.
I low-key wanted to go to one of those AAF tryouts and just try out for special teams and just fly full speed. And if I miss the guy by 15 feet, I miss. If I hit him, he's dead.
Well, do you guys see? I think I sent you guys a video of the DN. He just fucking just killed the quarterback. The quarterback's helmet went flying off, and there's no penalties for that in the league for shit like that. So they didn't even call.
Oh, that was the AAF?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this.
The guy's helmet flew 20 yards away. They were just oh, good play. But it's in the NFL, there'd have been 20 flags on the field. This player is ejected and concussion protocol. And quarterback got up and very next play and was nothing happened.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of talks about people saying that it's gonna be hard for the NFL to be as easy on stuff like that with this place being so rough.
Yeah.
This place?
Sorry, dude. I'm fucking tripping over my words.
No, I get what you're saying. I think the reason the NFL is so strict now is because they got sued for millions and millions and millions of dollars. Especially when the whole Junior Seau thing. He committed suicide, and I feel like that was kind of the big one because Junior Seau was such a household name that when you find out oh, this guy killed himself pretty much because of all the concussions and CT he was getting. I think that's when people kind of started taking it serious. And then, like I said, they got sued. So, I mean, they had to make some type of rule changes. But
it changes things.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the direction they're going. You do have to worry about safety, said Junior Seau committed suicide, these players having mental issues. It is scary too. And it's some players are kind of even they got to think about their futures over retirement. Where this is a reality now, where it's hey, I might not even be able to spend time with my kids because I might be so fucked up in the head.
Yeah.
And it's a sad thing to kind of think about. But I get the direction they're going. But at the same time, it's It's an entertainment. So I think they just got to find the happy medium to where it's like, okay, we can't be calling some of this stupid stuff. We got to let them play a little bit.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, like I said, like, like instances like Seau and stuff like that, you don't want anyone's outside of football health to have like mental issues at home and, like not be able to like think straight.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, football's violent. And it's like you can't try to make these rules to make it not violent. It's going to be violent. I mean, it's like you said, like maybe, enforcing these rules, like you can't hit a defenseless receiver, call flags on that. But then, like, I don't know, some of these quarterback hits are just so bad. It's like, dude, you can't even touch the quarterback without getting a penalty. Or like, you could be you could be trying to rush the quarterback. You can get like pushed in the back by the offensive lineman. And then you can like fall into the quarterback's knee. And then it's like you get a defensive penalty because like you hit his knee. And it's like, dude, the offensive lineman shoved me into him.
I feel like they should just have no pads. You can see like the way they're doing it. No,
like
real.
old school football.
Well, because you won't, bro. The
rubber
problem
condoms
is,
on their head.
I mean, Michael Bennett doesn't really wear pads, does he?
Dude, yeah, I know, right? Dude, no, but like when you have all those pads on, you're like, dude, I can fucking wreck this guy. But like, dude, if you had no pads on, you would not go full sprint into another dude.
We also, no one would play 16 games, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody would be running into each other as hard. It's like you could put a million pads on.
So basically, you're saying flag football?
No, I'm just saying that. No, but you can still tackle each other. It's just like, dude, no, bro. I bet you anything it would actually end up being more safe. I think so.
I don't know about that, Cotton.
Yeah,
it's a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays
dude,
off.
okay, think about it, dude. If you just keep putting pads on, you keep putting pads on, all of a sudden you're just fucking robots, and then like you have like these huge ass pads on or whatever, big metal things. You're still gonna run into each other as hard as you can. If you know that you're able to be like get hit body to body, you're not gonna run in and sprint as hard because you're gonna hurt yourself too.
Like Gronkowski, RoboCop.
It'd be like more like dude. They have fucking rugby. They tackle each other. They don't wear like any pads.
It's
They
true.
wear like shin guards.
You just made a valid point there, Cotton.
Yeah, dude. So basically, I'm fucking wicked smart.
You
guys
should
are
just
real
open
dumb.
your own league, the MFL.
The no pad league, NPL.
It could be in all like Japanese subtitles.
Touchdown!
Touchdown.
All right, well, let's get.
So yeah, I'll say fantasy.
Let's get into some like news and notes from around the league. So, a couple trades. Well, a trade Alicia went through, right?
Yeah, so we got the first trade we're going to discuss, and then we're going to go over some major news and notes. You got Joe Flacco to the Denver Broncos. Fantasy-wise, I feel like it's a lateral move for the players there. I mean, I don't know if Joe Flacco, how much of an upgrade do you think he is from Case Keenum? I don't think there's much of an upgrade. I mean, I don't know. What's your take on it with Joe Flacco?
For me, when the news first broke of this, instantly it's like, okay, the receivers have zero value in Baltimore because once Lamar Jackson took over, it was so inconsistent. I mean, at least when Joe Flacco was there, you seen Smokey Brown getting it done. Crabtree was kind of like okay PPR wise. Now with Lamar Jackson, it's like I want nothing to do with those receivers. On the flip side now, though, like a name that I'm kind of interested in, like just like top of the head, it's kind of early, but it's Courtland Sutton. I mean, he's one of those guys where he's a big body receiver. He's got some speed. He can out-jump players, and Flacco does have a big arm, and we've seen him in the past, take some shots deep. And I mean, obviously, look at like I said, Smokey Brown. It seemed like he was getting a touchdown every game, and he wasn't getting a ton of volume, but he was, making those big plays. So Courtland Sutton's a guy for me personally. I'm gonna want to pay attention to, when we get into like the preseason, just to see how he is. I mean, second year, so he should be able to take like a good jump ahead. And, no Demaryius Thomas. Obviously, they kind of believe in Sutton and what he's capable of. So I actually think with Flacco there, that's an upgrade. Quarterback-wise, Keenum to Flacco, I think that's like you said, even. I just think Flacco kind of gives Sutton a better opportunity compared to Keenum, where we've seen Keenum kind of just focus on the slot guy a lot.
See, I'm kind of more in the little bit of the opposite spectrum of it, where it's like Flacco's never really produced like high-end number one receivers. He's had a couple guys reach like that 1,000-yard milestone. He's never really had a true like top 12 receiver. The only year he kind of had a top 12 like type of receiver was that year where Steve Smith was like going off.
Yeah.
I think he had like 600 yards in 7 games, but then he got hurt.
Yeah.
And he's just never really carried a true number one. And the thing with Sutton was he had a 6-game stretch where he was basically the number one. And yeah, he was a rookie, but he didn't do too much. You had Deshaun Hamilton, doing some things. You had Tim Patrick, Emmanuel Sanders is even out of the mix. Now, the question is, do they re-sign Manny? If Manny comes back, I think Sutton's more of a wide receiver 3 flex type of play, and he does have some upside. But the thing that I'm kind of starting to like tie my upside guys to are they tied to a high scoring offense with a high yardage quarterback.
Yeah.
And I don't think Joe Flacco's going to throw for 4,500 yards. He's barely thrown over I think 22 touchdowns in a year. I'll pull up the stats, but he's never had a high touchdown total, so it kind of limits the upside with Sutton, and especially if there's more mouths to feed and he can't do it as a true number one. If these corners are going to kind of shut him down here and there, it's if Flacco's throwing for 5,000 yards, it's a different story. But with the low yardage totals, the low touchdown totals, granted he's never had a good amount of weapons. This could low key be like one of his better receiving cores, even though they're young. So, I like Sutton as a prospect, but I'm just not too excited with the Joe Flacco move.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It'll be like interesting because I feel like the reason for that too is because Baltimore is just such a defensive team. I feel like that's how they won games for years and years. So I don't know. I know Denver is kind of a defensive team too, but maybe just that little bit offensive push could help him.
Yeah, change of scenery.
Flacco,
there is a chance of that.
But yeah, I'm kind of more on Anthony's side. It seems like more of a lateral move.
Yeah. I think
Nothing to go crazy over.
I think Sutton's upside at best is a wide receiver low end too. I don't think he has like that top upside just because of just the quarterback situation. Even with Case Keenum there, I think it's going to be more of like Mike kind of just touched on ground and pound with Lindsey, maybe a little Royce Freeman in there and play defense. So
Yeah.
like I said, we'll see. It's a long off season. We'll look at some numbers. We'll see. Maybe there's a connection there. Like, him and John Brown had a connection for, 8 weeks before he got hurt, and there was some production there. So there is the potential for production for sure. I'm not dismissing that. It's just, it's just hard to get too excited. But if he can be a weekly flex play with some good matchups, that's kind of what he might be a 9th, 10th round pick. And if you get that out of Sutton where you can play him in good matchups, I'll take that all day, especially.
Yeah, like you said, we might find something like we did last year with Emmanuel Sanders, how we found like Case Keenum just targets like hyper targeted slot receiver. We ended up finding something like that.
Yeah,
we could find something like that with them, but right now we don't know.
Yeah, we just got to pay attention to the preseason. I think the potential for Sutton is maybe not a top 15 receiver, but like top 30, top 24 type receiver, maybe like a wide receiver 2, at least a flex guy, I think, depending what Joe Flacco there. Because I don't think Joe Flacco is going to lean too much on Deshaun Hamilton in the slot receiver as much as Keenum did. But like you said, that's going to be something we're going to have to watch how the offense works with him in preseason. Because like you said, we didn't notice the Manny Sanders thing until we started watching the preseason, how much he was hyper targeting him there. How do you guys feel about Lamar Jackson now that he's got the full reins over there and he's going to get a full 16-game season? Obviously we know he can run the ball, but like we talk about all the time, he can't throw the ball. But the rushing upside is always there, and Anthony touches it all the time. You get the rushing upside. It's every 10 rushing yards is 25 passing yards in a sense. So how do you guys like him?
As a fantasy for fantasy wise, I like that. For Lamar, as a Steelers fan, I'm fucking hyped because because
you know the ceiling and the
dude, just because
not gonna win a Super Bowl basically is
he's not gonna win them. I don't think he can win them the division doing that. he did last year, but
he finished 6-2 as a starter. They lost in the playoffs, but when in the regular season I think he was 6-1. The only game they lost was in Kansas City, and they barely lost that game. So.
Yeah. So as a Steelers fan, I'm kind of like I'm okay with it because I just don't think that he can really, especially with all this past year's game tape on. Like how many times you see quarterbacks the first year they're like, look at this guy's like they don't even know how to fucking defend him. It's like now you have 8 games of full 8 full games with game tape to watch and study on him. I don't think he's going to amount to as much productivity as he did last year.
Yeah, I think kind of to touch on what Mike said is I'm kind of in the same camp of where it's like I think there's going to be some production for fantasy-wise, but I think coordinators are going to start to dial up and make adjustments. They might be like, hey, he's not going to throw it down the field, so we're going to blitz him and blast him in the mouth and take him out of the game if we can. Because if you're
blast him
straight in the mouth. Or it'd be like, if I was a coach, that's how I talk.
Yeah,
that's hard.
We're going to blast him right in the mouth and hold him down.
That is kind of what the Chargers did in a sense. In the playoff game, they kind of limited him. They said, we're going to shut down these rushing lanes and we're going to make you throw the ball to beat us. We're not going to let you run to beat us. And, he couldn't get it done. Throwing the ball wise. So, but do you think he's got a potential to be like, I mean, obviously he's probably going to get drafted in the later rounds. I think. Do you think he's got potential to be like a back end QB1 with the rushing upside, or?
I think he's. So this is my outlook at him going into next year is. If I wait on quarterbacks and I don't like taking Mahomes in the second, or let's say Aaron Rodgers and these guys are going early and I'm like, I'm not feeling it. We get to the 6th, 7th round, maybe you're looking at like your Wilsons stuff, Newtons, they start going and I'm like, I don't want to reach yet. He's someone to where I might package him with someone else because especially in 4-point touchdown leagues with like the lower passing type of leagues, a standard quarterback scoring in a sense.
Yeah.
If he gets you 80 rushing yards, that's essentially 2 touchdowns through the air. With the rushing total. So, and then whatever he throws is extra. So he had a relatively safe floor. He never had a massive ceiling, but Lamar Jackson wasn't the type of quarterback to necessarily lose you your week where it's like, oh, I got a fucking 2-point game this week.
That's true.
He at least would get you, 12 to maybe 20 points. So maybe I'd package him with like a Jimmy Garoppolo or him with like someone with some upside. And more
could always get Philip Rivers somehow in his later rounds.
More of a pure passer, and maybe he takes that Josh Allen step to where he's throwing for 201 through the air, and he's also rushing for a lot of yardage. So there is a lot of upside if the coaching staff can manage to make him a 200-yard passer to 225, and he stays rushing from 50 to 100. I think he's going to have some high upside and weekly floor, where he's not going to lose you your games.
Yeah.
Especially in those standard scoring leagues. You're in a standard scoring leagues, quarterbacks aren't putting up 35 points, 45 points, They're putting up more in the range of like 15 to 23. And if he's going to rush for 10 alone, and even if
safe floor.
Yeah, just a safe floor. So he's someone I don't mind, taking some chances on, seeing what happens. I mean, maybe the coaching staff hones in his, maybe he's good at certain routes. Maybe he's good at certain looks, and they're able to use that. Maybe they draft a running back who's electric out of the screen game. And is able to like kind of make some Christian McCaffrey type for him. You look at Cam Newton, he threw to the running backs a lot. And what did Christian McCaffrey do for his numbers this year? So maybe the staff gets creative. So I don't think all is lost with him. I think he has some upside.
Safe floor, yeah, for sure. Speaking about the Steelers, Steeler fan over here. How do you feel about your boy AB, dog? He's officially tweeted out, like 9 years, farewell. It's been good, but time to move on.
Dude, AB can suck me.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding. No, I don't know.
Would you fall asleep?
Dude, you can't reference stuff that nobody knows what we're talking about.
I know. That's why I ended it there. But I knew I'd get a reaction out of you.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about this? So I was on Roto World right before we started the episode. It says Antonio Brown basically was saying that, let me scroll through it. He was basically saying that Big Ben's a piece of shit.
Oh, what do you know? Big Ben's a piece of shit. What did he say?
So I'll read the article right now. It's responding to a social media question about his frayed relationship with Ben Roethlisberger. Antonio Brown said Roethlisberger has an owner mentality. Like he can call it anybody, including coaches. So basically he was saying, and the article goes on a little more, players know, but they can't say anything about it. Otherwise, they meal ticket gone. It's a dirty game within a game. So basically he's saying Ben Roethlisberger kind of just fucking is a big piece of shit. A Big Ben piece of shit.
Dude, have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen the video of Big Ben and they show Josh Dobbs and he's like they throw all the mats at him and he's like dodging them and then he makes the pass. He throws like 3 of them and then they throw him at Big Ben and he just is like fucking hitting him.
With the football?
Yeah, he's like hitting him with the football, dude. Like knocking him and then he throws the pass. It's like, dude, this is someone who doesn't give a fuck. He's like he knows that he has a job. He doesn't care. That's just that is like his personality in a clip.
I feel the thing with his is everyone's taking out on AB, like, oh, fuck AB, like he doesn't want to be here. Like I think I was saying the other day, like I've already seen people burning his jerseys and like he's not even officially off the team yet. And it's like, but people don't understand that like maybe Big Ben is just a piece of shit. I know I say joking around, but like maybe he is. And even the article he's saying right here, like Big Ben tries to act like he's above everyone else. Like you're still a player, bro. Yeah, you're the quarterback, so you're supposed to be the leader, but like you're not above anyone else. You're not a coach. You're not like the owner in a sense. So it's like
he does seem. Yeah.
AB is basically saying he acts like the owner. Remember he used to get into with Todd Haley too?
Yeah.
They used to butt heads. And I mean like
yeah.
It's just it's a locker room type of thing. I mean if you're a quarterback
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
If he's like out there just like saying like fuck you to everybody, like calling coaches out, calling everybody out, like I mean what is that like I don't know, he's supposed to be your leader. He's supposed to like set an example, set a tone, not sitting here calling everyone out, throwing AB under the bus. It even says in the article that he has not hesitated to publicly call out Antonio Brown in the past. And he's just maybe that's why Le'Veon Bell wants the money. He's like, I'll pay the money there. I'll go somewhere else. I mean, he's butted heads with people before. It's not the first time.
I just think it might be Ben. I don't know. I've never seen Ben on the sidelines like fucking whining the way I've seen like Antonio Brown do that or
that's true.
Bell. Like maybe this is like he's a little bit different with it, and he just nice dude. Jesus, taking it down over there, eh? You just chugged like half that beer.
Nice.
I'm
just thirsty.
I distracted. But you know what I mean? I never really seen him do that. Maybe he does it on the side, but by himself when the cameras aren't there, and he's smart about it. Maybe, but either way, that locker room is fucked right now. I mean, there's so much shit going on back there between Bell, Brown, and apparently Ben now.
You think Raven fans are like, all I know is. What did you say about the
He's like, as a Ravens fan, as someone who is a Raven, if I were a Ravens fan, I'd be pretty fucking hyped. If I just hear Steelers news this week in the Steelers locker room, shit's going fucking haywire.
It is going down
It's just not good. Yeah, I don't know. Like for one thing, it's saying is like. Dude, you never hear quarterbacks like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. Like these quarterbacks never call out their players. Like I hate Tom Brady with a passion, but like one thing I can give him credit for is like you never heard Tom Brady like call Gronk out or Edelman or anyone say like Tom Brady always says like it's me, like I fucked up. And even Aaron Rodgers says it. He's like I got to get better. It's on me. I got to get better. Like I threw the pick. But like Big Ben sitting here like like AB wasn't in the spot where I was supposed to throw. Like dude, stop making excuses. You're a grown ass man. Like. You threw a fucking pick, bro. Like
those guys got humbled too. Like even when Aaron Rodgers, because wasn't he supposed to get drafted like way earlier, and he didn't get drafted till like the very end of the first round or some shit.
It wasn't. I think it was more so that like Alex Smith went in front of him and some other quarterbacks.
Well, but he was sitting there like I don't know. I've seen this thing about it, but
you might be right. I can't remember.
He got drafted like 24th overall pick.
Yeah, but he
was either going to go first overall, and then if not, they didn't know when he was going to go, and then he went 24th overall.
Right. So, but I'm saying is like things like that, like Tom Brady, that those guys kind of got humbled by things like that. I feel like Big Ben was a big name when he got drafted too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know. I think from stuff like that, it makes you have a big head.
I think you're just trying to stick up for Big Ben because you're a Steelers
fan.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what it sounds like.
No, I mean,
think if I was a Ravens fan, I'd be excited.
No, you're right. It's just like, dude, I mean, that's all I've ever known is Big Ben as a quarterback. So it's like the fucking mystery, the question mark.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's kind of scary.
Well, even think about it when speaking
of
like who was the quarterback they drafted? Mason
Rudolph.
And he was like,
and Josh
fuck
Dobbs.
Off, Hulk.
And Josh Dobbs the year before, dude.
Yeah, he was basically like, I'm not teaching him shit. And Mason Rudolph was like, all right, well, I guess I'll go fuck myself.
Yeah. I mean, but truly though, like,
and he was like, trying to like at least he actually as a young kid handled professionally. He's like, well, he's one of the greatest, so I just want to learn from him. And Big Ben's like, you ain't learning shit, bitch.
Yeah. No, he just was like, he didn't say that.
That's basically what he said.
No, he said it.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, why would I teach him stuff to take my job? It's pretty much what he told him.
Dude, he said that.
Look at how offensive he's getting over here about Big Ben.
No,
bro, your body language is saying everything.
No, he said that he's like, I don't know why we keep drafting quarterbacks. Like, I'm still here. That was like what I heard he said.
That's what you heard he said.
Maybe because they know he's a piece of shit and they were trying to get rid of him.
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, so the whole point of this conversation is AB wants to get traded. So let's just talk about some destinations. I was looking at a website. I'm not sure how accurate these are, but it was kind of in the order of what teams I think he could potentially go. They got the Cardinals as the favorite to land him, and then the 49ers and the Packers are tied for second. I mean, we just saw Amari Cooper get traded for a first-round pick, which most people thought was like blasphemy and crazy and stuff like that. I know, like, you're one of the biggest Amari Cooper, truthers and shit. We didn't think it was a bad trade at all because we knew the talent Amari Cooper had, and we knew like, hey, if you can go draft a wide receiver in the first round and he could be a complete bust, but you already know what Amari Cooper is. Like, yeah, I'll give you a first-round pick for him because I know what he is. Like, what do you think people are going to be willing to give for Antonio Brown? Because if that's the case, you would think a first-round pick, right?
Yes, no.
Dude, I give him a fucking fresh shave.
The thing with Amari Cooper is he's also 23 years old. There's a big difference in age. So you can basically make this. You're trading for an essential franchise player with the Cowboys. Now, they're already in contract extension, so we don't need to get into that. But with Antonio Brown, how old is he, Mike? 32?
30.
He's 30?
Yeah.
I think he's past 30.
He's 30. Pretty sure he's 30.
You sure?
Pretty sure.
Look it up. But anyways, he's a little older in age, so I think it's going to be hard. He has that big contract already, too, he signed to, right? I believe.
Yeah,
He has
a
a pretty high,
couple years ago.
yeah.
He's 30.
He is 30.
Yep.
So he has a big contract tied to him. So team's gonna have to take on that contract as well. Where Amari Cooper was still in his rookie contract, so he wasn't expensive. He was like $750,000, and you have a potential future receiver for 10 years possibly.
Yeah.
So I think there's that. The locker room presence, all that stuff. I think they'll still get some picks, but I don't know if they'll actually get a first for him. I know the talent is, one of the best we've ever seen, but I think it's going to be the asking price they want might not get met until, down the road.
Yeah.
Or unless some team's just desperate. Like, I guess it would sound crazy, but maybe someone like the Saints are like, hey, like Drew Brees might have 1 or 2 years left. Let's fucking go all out and have the most insane offense on the fucking planet.
That would be insane, actually. Yeah.
And trade a first round pick. I mean, that's
Michael
where
Thomas and AB.
Jesus.
Kamara. Yeah.
That'd be nuts.
All right, that's where I can maybe see, or maybe they're,
You're selling out. You're going all in. And
Yeah.
for example, like the Rams. The Rams went all in this year. And they made it to the Super Bowl. I mean, maybe if they had a quarterback who could fucking score a touchdown, then they would have actually do it or something. Maybe if they would give the best running back the football, they would have been able to score some points. But
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
yeah. So I think it's going to be interesting. So
I mean, with that being said, obviously AB, he's been top 3, top 1 wide receiver for the last like 5 or 6 years. Tied to such a good offense in Pittsburgh. I mean, obviously, if he gets traded to a different offense, it's going to affect his draft value. So, I mean, right now, if he stays on the Steelers, he's probably going to go in the first round. You would assume again. Let's just go through some of these teams here and see like how you think it would affect him, negatively or positively, his draft value, and whether he would still be a first round wide receiver or not. So, yeah, they got the Cardinals here as the first best odds to get him. So, I mean, if he went to the Cardinals, would you still think he goes in the first round?
negative. I think his value's down. I'll just say down or up with value.
Yeah, I would say down.
What, in the Cardinals?
If he goes to the Cardinals. I mean, they got Rosen. There's talks of them even drafting Kyler Murray and then keeping Rosen as a backup. But, yeah, I don't like that one. Next would be the 49ers with Jimmy G.
That'd be pretty crazy. I think he would go still down.
I think he'd go down a little bit. I think
But
he'd be
not-
looking at, like, he'd still be in the top 8 receivers, but I don't think he'd be in the Julio Hopkins top
first round?
Adams.
I think that he would just be probably later in the first round, ADP wise.
Yeah.
First round for the Niners, that might not be bad. I mean, I know Shanahan's offense. Whoever that main like Y or X wide receiver it is, always is like the focal point of the offense. I mean, look at Julio Jones, for example. So I think if he went to the Niners, we've seen kind of what Jimmy G has. I think he still has some good value there. At least maybe the back end of the first round, early second round.
I think it'd be lateral to maybe slightly negative.
Yeah. Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I think you'd be the same.
Yeah. It'd be about.
I in my opinion,
It's good quarterback.
I think it'd be the same.
Probably good offense with LaFleur over
See, I
there.
like the
but then
move.
now you got Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, you've done it, the numbers before. Rodgers has supported 2 top 24 wide
You can even
receivers.
support
so,
2 top 8.
So, I mean, if he went to the Packers, that'd be kind of good right there, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. We got the Miami Dolphins. I don't even know how that's up there because we're Dolphins fans and I haven't heard any of
Yeah, I
that.
haven't either.
If he went to the Dolphins,
Negative.
I wouldn't even be drafting him because we don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. There's reports of Tannehill getting released and
Kyler
yeah.
Murray or whatever.
yeah,
I don't think.
I wouldn't like it.
But I saw the thing
they're in
saying that
rebuild
Kyler
mode.
Murray is going to go to the Patriots.
He's not going to fall that far.
I don't know.
What about the Indianapolis Colts with Andrew Luck? I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. But
I mean, Luck's over here.
value-wise,
Anthony said Luck wouldn't throw 60 times a game, and he did. So we obviously know the volume will be there.
I think that
I'll throw 260 times.
He's like, hold my beer.
This is
I think that the thing with AB is that no matter what, his value was so high last year, so it's hard for you to say that his value could go up really anywhere.
Yeah.
And going into a new offense, on a different team, doesn't have like rapport with the quarterback. Although he might be fighting with Big Ben.
Yeah.
They've known each other for years. They know how to play with each other. Like,
yeah, they have chemistry, just timing. So there's other things too.
What about the Raiders? Because they have all those draft picks.
Yeah.
they do have a lot of draft picks on.
I think that would hurt his value. I don't
It
trust
feels
Derek
like- I don't think
Carr.
he'll-
I think there's going to be like anywhere where he's going to be better. I think at best case scenario, you're looking at a lateral fantasy move.
That's what
I think
mean.
more than likely you're looking at a down tick.
Yeah.
I don't think I feel like the Raiders are rebuilding. I feel like they're getting rid of everybody. I don't think they're gonna sign on somebody. It seems like they're just making a whole brand new team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, those are just some of the teams. They even got the Cleveland Browns here. Imagine if they went to the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
That would be crazy, right? So, yeah, just some
God.
of those teams right there. I mean, if
I'm looking at Mike making faces as you said Cleveland Browns. He's like,
I mean, bro, they just yeah.
be
So let's just
irritating.
say AB goes. How do you think this affects Juju's value? Because he obviously had a crazy good year.
It's hard to know, man.
I think he's in a
It could-
Juju all over types of beats.
You think
gonna
would you think Juju would be a top 10? Would he finish in the top 10? Right?
Yeah, I'd honestly probably put Juju in my top 5.
You think so?
He's showed games of where he doesn't need Antonio Brown to be a 1.
Even if, because I was reading some things that were saying that he's going to line up on the outside more often than he did this last year with AB.
Even
Confident in
then,
him?
you look at the target volume. I'm looking at it right now. It's 166 targets last year. That number is going to probably stay around the same range, if not go up. And Antonio Brown had how many touchdowns? 15 it was? 13? He led the league, I believe, right?
He's up there for sure.
He had at least 12 or 13. So those touchdowns are going to get spread back out. So, I mean, if Juju catches 4 more of those, I think you see games where he's, hyper targeted. He had 19, 11, 11, 10, 12, 15. He had massive target games. And I know all those targets aren't going to go up to him. They're going to go to other players in the field. But, Juju could be one of the most targeted players in all of the NFL. And he's showed talent. He showed he can take a catch for 90 yards and a touchdown. He's just...
Yeah.
He's a really explosive player. I'll probably have him in my top 5 if AB goes.
He's still young. I mean, what is he, barely 21, 22 years old? Something like
Yeah.
that. So he's probably not even technically in his prime in a sense.
Yeah.
So just speaking about some other news that's going on, maybe one of the biggest news is the Kareem Hunt got signed by the Cleveland Browns. I remember waking up to this thinking like, am I dreaming? Is this even real? Like,
We talked about it, and Browns was like not even one. Well, that was one team we didn't even fucking talk about
Expect
at
at all.
Yeah.
We were looking
all.
around.
I don't think
we're
that was
like,
on anybody's
What
radar.
did we say? Like Chicago, maybe like a couple other places, but the Browns,
No,
not so much.
especially when they had such good consistency with Nick Chubb towards the end of the season.
yeah, Nick Chubb was running like a madman down the air, and then they signed Duke Johnson to an extension, a year in the offseason before last year. So now they got Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, and Duke Johnson. So how do you guys think this backfield plays out?
I mean, I do like Nick Tubb a little bit, but
Yeah, dude, that
Nick
Tubb.
Tubb, is that what I said? Nick Tubb.
I heard it.
he's
too.
dropping bath
That's it.
bombs.
Nick Tubb, my bad.
Nick Tubb.
Hey, can you give me a Nick rub on my Nick Chubb?
Hey. Here's kind of, at first I was like, I think there's a lot of people like, oh, Nick Chubb's dead, and I was kind of in that camp for like
Nick Chubb's dead.
40 seconds. Like
Is he
I
dead
went
or
went
not?
full flaccid for a minute. But here's the thing is we don't know the suspension yet, and if it's a 6-game suspension, what Chubb was doing when he was the starter was he was putting up some massive numbers. I mean, I think he was, I'll try and pull it up right now, week 7 to 16, I'll pull it up. But I mean, 22 carries, 18 carries, 18 carries, 28 carries, 9 1 week, 13, 20, 19. You're looking at a workhorse RB, with some receiving skill set in there too. There was receptions 3, 3, 3, 4. So the numbers there, if I can get 6 games of having a locked and loaded RB1, I'll take that in the 3rd round, late 2nd, because at that point, if I'm in the top of the round, I take maybe like a Zeke. I come back, I can get Nick Chubb and another maybe Mike Evans. I have 3 basically all-star players for 6 games right there that can carry me to a, depending on my other draft picks, can carry me to a 5-1 record, to a 4-2, to a 6-0 record. And at that point, I can really evaluate. Maybe Chubb's killing it and Hunt's just, all right, we're not even going to really mess around with what we have. We already have, lightning in the bottle. Why kind of mess with it? So,
Yeah.
He could take off and, you get him at a discount price. And then maybe you have other running backs you're stacked and maybe you're short at receiver. You flip Chubb for, a top 5 wide receiver at that point.
Yeah.
So he's someone I might low key be looking at, because if I can get 6 games, which is almost half of the fantasy season, I'll take that at the right value. So I'm kind of actually in the watching where he goes, and I might be targeting Chubb a lot.
Yeah. For me, I think this probably means Duke Johnson is no more. I mean, Chubb's on a rookie contract. The contract they signed to Hunt, I was looking at that. It's like nothing. It's like $1.1 million, but then it's like he gets like a $25,000 bonus for every game he plays, and then so if he doesn't play the first 6 games or something like that, then he loses out on $150,000 plus his salary for that game, which would have been like another $60,000 or something like that. So they potentially could get Kareem Hunt for like, it just sounds like nothing, but $600,000, which is nothing for a salary, you know.
For
so
Kareem Hunt, dude.
yeah, so they could get him for like nothing. And Duke Johnson, they just paid him a ton of money, so maybe they cut Duke Johnson, save some salary cap, and then they have Hunt, who obviously can run and catch the ball. That's kind of what Duke Johnson was. And they just have a 1-2 punch right there.
That's like almost practice squad money. I mean, not really, but like
It's pretty close.
it's like almost practice squad money you're paying for RB1. It's someone who was literally destroying the league last year
Yeah.
and the year before.
We just got to pay attention to this to see what happens, because it could be a 4-game suspension, could be a 6-game. I would assume there's going to be some type of penalty,
at least 4
thrown down. He can't just walk away like with nothing happening to him. And maybe he even does it's 4, and then they reduce it to 2 somehow. But I would assume there's going to be some type of games that he loses. But yeah, I kind of agree with what you just said, Anthony. Like, you get Chubb here. Maybe people are kind of sleeping on him now because they think like, Hunt's going to be in there. But now you get Chubb at a discount, and even if it's just 4 games where it's just your full Chubb just for 4 games, that's just money, like you said. You get like an RB1 there, then maybe you move him or something, like you said.
That's hot, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he could be the difference between you getting off on a hot start or not. Like, here's the thing: is like, would I rather take Nick Chubb, or he might go back into the Aaron Jones, Philip Lindsay, Chris Carson. These guys have question marks.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I know I'm getting 6 games of guaranteed, locked and loaded. I'm looking at it right now. Weeks 8 through 16, top 7 running back and standard half PPR, and I'll look at PPR. So basically, I'm getting a top 6, 7 running back, in the 3rd round maybe. And these guys are supposed to be going in the 1st round in a normal draft.
Yeah.
Why not take that locked and loaded for 6 games and take advantage of it? And like you said, I mean, maybe they just get rid of Duke Johnson in general when Hunt comes back, and it's a 1-2 punch, and you still have a top 12 running back. Maybe he's not the top 7, but he's still top 12. And
so that being said, you guys taking a shot on Kareem Hunt then, like in the later rounds? I mean, because I'm assuming the name value is going to get him drafted in drafts, regardless.
This goes back to what I said last episode: is I'm not wasting a bench spot for 7 weeks on a player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
I'm out, because it's like, I could miss on a potential waiver wire hit. I could miss on an Alvin Kamara 2 years ago. I can miss on a Philip Lindsay, a Kenny Galladay, because I'm holding Hunt for 6 games, and I'm not holding him.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to see how this unfolds and stuff. But
unless you have an 8-man bench, then it's different if you're in a deep bench league. But if
Yeah.
I'm 6 or especially 5, if I'm a 5-man bench, I'm out. I'm not drafting suspended players anymore.
Because you had that issue with Mark Ingram last year.
Yeah, I did it 2 years in a row with suspended players, and I'm just like, there's players I wanted to pick up, and I'm like, fuck, I want to, but I can't. I wasted a draft pick on this guy. You're not just gonna throw away a pick for nothing.
Right.
And then when he comes back, you're like entitled to start him because you waited 4 or 5 weeks to hold him, and now you have to start him.
Yeah.
And it's suspended players, deuces. As Tyler would say, they're dead to me.
Dead to me.
Hashtag dead to me. DTM, dude.
Eat your canes.
Dude, how long has that cane's been sitting over there for?
Like a couple hours.
A couple days.
Let's just say it's reached
The danger zone?
the danger zone. If you're in the food service industry, you know what we're talking about.
If the health department was here, they'd be shutting us down.
This chicken's been in the danger zone for quite some time now.
They're sticking the needles in, taking the temperature. Like,
I shouldn't be eating in the fucking middle of the podcast, but I'm so goddamn hungry.
that's all good, bro.
You guys got anything else to say on that situation?
Nah.
I think the Browns' offense is definitely going to be something to pay attention to going forward. Baker Mayfield, was a stud once he got in there. Broke the rookie record for most passing touchdowns for a quarterback, and he didn't even play the whole season. So
That's because Patrick
definitely
Mahomes
a good
didn't play the year before.
Yeah, definitely like you were saying. Like we trying to get players on high scoring, high powered offenses. So I like it. Some other news. You got Le'Veon Bell. You just can't stay out of the news for some reason. He's in the news more than he is in the weight room, probably. There's just talk about the Steelers transition tagging him.
What the fuck
So you
does
guys
that
want to
mean?
get into this?
I think he needs a contract. Never mind.
What does transition tag mean again? Explain it
Damn.
for me and those.
I gotta ask Wikipedia again. So what it was is,
Well, just get
it's basically
kind of new.
it's a tag to where they place on him, and they have like the rights to him in a sense. So if I'm the the Steelers and Tyler's the Ravens. If he wants to make an offer for him, I'm able to match whatever offer they put out there. So that's basically a dickhead tag where it's like, hey, he still gets that whatever it is, like 15 million, 14 million if he wants to sign with them. But if the Ravens kind of want to come and make an offer for him, I have a chance to offer it. So it's like they're basically tagging him saying if someone's going to take you, we're just going to take you back in a sense.
Damn.
It's because they're kind of just being dicks with it, basically.
It's kind of pointless because, like, like you were saying, if someone wants to come off him and they don't match it, then they just lose him and they get zero compensation.
Yeah,
they
no
don't get any
draft
draft picks. They don't get anything. So the only thing I was thinking about is, like, maybe they will, like, put the transition tag on him. So he's guaranteed, like, 14.5 million, I think, if no one signs him. But, like, maybe, some teams offer him a certain amount of money, and that's not too far off of what the Steelers were originally going to offer him. And now they're saying, like, look, bro, you're on the open market. This is what people are offering you. It's not much of a difference compared to what we were offering you. Like, okay, maybe we'll match it. But then now if, like, someone goes out there and they're like, okay, we're going to give you 30, 40 million guaranteed, then they're like, all right, well, fuck this. Like, we're definitely not going to give that to you, But I think maybe they are just kind of fucking with him because maybe the Steelers organization is just a piece of shit, dude.
Well, I mean, dude, look, if you're
From the quarterback and
NFL
up.
team, you're just trying to win games, man. So it's like, fuck the players. They don't really care about the players, dude. If you own a
True.
business, you're gonna do the most logical
They're
thing.
just an
for
asset.
yeah,
That's all they are.
but you gotta look at it like that. It's fucked up. That's why it's like it's so silly when fans get like mad at players when they leave. It's like, dude, this is their job. Like they got a better job over there. Look,
We get paid more. It's like,
they
would you
switch
leave
companies?
Would you leave your accounting job to go make twice as much as accounting somewhere else? The fuck you would.
Yeah. And then imagine you had people on Twitter. You're a fucking piece of shit, Anthony.
I hate you,
Did
Bill.
you really go to LLC 24? Like, what the fuck?
Like, yeah, making double the money, bro. Why would I not?
Yeah, dude. And I got benefits.
And I got
Yeah.
benefits.
Yeah.
My kid's got dentists, dude. His teeth are all fucked up, dude. Have you seen his wife's fucking teeth when she was growing up? They were all shit. Not me.
Yeah, no, I get it from that standpoint. Like, especially last year when Landry, we got rid of Landry. I was kind of pissed. He's one of my favorite players. But it's like, yeah, he was making, I think it was like $1 million a year. Then when he signed with the Browns, he got like 40 or 50 million, like guaranteed. So you got to look at it from their standpoint. They're trying to take care of their families. A lot of these players, especially, they come from like, poverty in a sense. So they're trying to get their paycheck, and football is so violent. You're always one hit away from, your career in a sense being over. So I don't blame them for trying to cash in, on a big payday.
And you got some of these players who have like 10 babies mamas too.
For sure.
Who has
true,
like hella kids, like Darrell Rivers or
Antonio
Dude, Philip
Cromartie.
Rivers has like
Cromartie.
kids.
Rivers
Yeah,
does
Rivers
have
has
a
an
little
army.
army going, dude.
Yeah, he goes on the sideline. What was it during a Pro Bowl or some shit? And you look at his kids, you're like, oh my fucking god, dude.
he's got his own football squad.
Dude, how does that feel to be his wife? Like, she's like pregnant like every year.
Dude, you know what I never thought about is if you have that many kids, that means like a majority of your fucking like young adult life, you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Like you can't drink, dude. Like, dude, you can't be an alcoholic and have 9 kids.
Yeah. All you're doing is fucking.
You're literally just
Well, you're not even
like
fucking because you're pregnant all half the time.
Dude, pregnant women are super horny.
wait. Okay, this might be a really
So
this
do you
might
know from experience or
guys.
Dude, I don't like search it on my UJIS or YouPorn or anything.
You jizz.
Pornhub is-
How old are you, dude?
You
Use
jizz?
Pornhub like a fucking adult, dude.
XXX? Isn't that one of them?
XXX videos. Listen, dude, but don't use you jizz, dude. How old are you? That's literally like what a 10-year-old would fucking use.
Bro, we come
What is the difference?
we come from
You
the,
jizz, dude.
We
You
come from
use
the-
you jizz. Are you crazy? Who the fuck uses you jizz?
What-
Dude,
I didn't even
that's
know
like-
you
Why
just
are you getting
was.
so red?
No, because that's
He's like
insane.
angry.
What
He's
is
like-
in that chicken,
he's
dog?
He's like legitimately angry that you used you just.
Dude, that's so insane. That's like a little kid would like type in like I want to jizz, and then like you jizz comes up as a third one. Okay, dude, that's what happened, and then you're stuck with it since then, huh?
Dude, we're like old school porn addicts. We come from like when you have to used to hold the box.
Yeah, I used to
to get
download.
pages.
Dude,
Like,
yeah,
you
bro.
don't
You
know
never
nothing
seen
about
American
this.
Pie where it's like glitching it out and you go, oh, I saw titty. So you gotta like,
Dude,
Yeah,
I
that
used
was
to.
us.
I used to
okay?
download.
You don't know about this shit.
Bro, what the fuck? are you talking about, dude? I used to use LimeWire and I would have to download porn.
What
for
does
like
LimeWire
10...
have to do with the box? Where you got to hold the box with a static ass TV? You could download that. We
what
couldn't
a
download
box.
shit.
Dude, what the fuck
See?
do you know about Playboy Espanol?
Yeah, see, you don't know shit about that, bro.
HBO late
Get
night,
on
dude.
us.
Skinamax, bro.
Dude, real talk for us. One of our buddies, I don't know why, but he would get Playboy Espanol for free. He would always be like, bro, I don't know why I got it for free, but I have it, and it's like I don't understand what the fuck they're saying, but they're fucking naked.
It's like have you seen that Friends episode where they get the free porn? No. They get like free porn in the episode, and they're like, "No one turn off the TV. We have free porn," and they just leave it on playing like nonstop, and they're like, "Is the porn still on?" They're like, "Yeah, it's still on, but we can't turn it off because we might lose free porn."
That's so funny. All right. Anyways, back to football.
Wait. What were we talking about before you jizz?
Oh,
Philip Rivers kids.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, wait. I have a question. All right, really quick. We'll go back to football. But I have a question. So if you are pregnant, like say you're like on the tail end of being pregnant, can you have sex and then get pregnant and then start a new baby?
No.
No.
Why would that even? How would that even possibly happen?
I don't know. I don't know.
How would that even make sense?
No, but like say you're like on the tail end, like the baby's almost coming out. But then you
Oh
like
my God.
you get
Sorry, I'm
get
looking.
the seed and then it goes in the egg and then it starts a new one. So that way you can kind of like start a new one before the first project's end.
First project.
Project.
It's like a fucking
You know what I
like
mean?
blueprints, like
You
architects
can't
out
do
here.
that. That's not
Sex
a thing.
architects.
You can't do that, huh?
I don't think so.
I don't think you do that.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
I think your uterus has
I
to
was-
recover.
Yo, you're fucking smart.
I was just curious. I don't know.
So he has he has 8 children. They're expecting a 9th one in March.
Oh,
Jesus.
16, 13, 12, 10, 8, 7, 5, 3. Yeah, so she was just pumping these out.
every,
Hey,
every
It's
2
like
years.
a fucking Pez dispenser out there. Just fucking.
Jesus. I mean, at least with Antonio Cromartie, he's got like 10 baby mamas. It's different. Like you could literally go get 10 girls pregnant within like 10 days.
Bro,
but like this
you know-
fool's just one chick just
You
pumping
know who
them out.
has a ton of kids and nobody talks about is Bob Marley. Bob Marley has like 13 kids. dude.
Really?
Does he?
Yeah, and like they're all from like different girls too. Like everybody kind of like worships this guy as this like ritualistic, really spiritual guy. But dude, he was out there just fucking dropping his loads.
He's like
spreading his seed.
Dropping his loads.
Dude, he was spreading his seed like a damn dandelion.
Hey,
fucking
brother,
everywhere.
brother.
He's like hella hippie. I don't wear condoms. I want to feel you.
Dude, I watched
feel the natural vibrations.
Bro,
in
if
your-
you watch the Bob Marley documentary, there's a part where like it talks about his wife goes in and like breaks up like the orgy party. Like the next morning would be like, okay, girls, it's time to go home. Like she would do that for him.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's a good wife.
Crazy,
Good
right?
wife.
Pretty crazy. But yeah, so I just wanted to know that if
He has
that
13
was
kids.
possible.
Jesus. I mean, if you're gonna have all these kids at once, like
Maybe
with
not
10 baby
13,
mamas,
but-
I would just do it all like in the same month, like you said. So at least all my kids are the same age.
Yeah.
They can grow up together. They
Yeah.
know each other.
I just have my own baseball team.
Yeah. And I can make hella baseball references. But you're all gonna be 6'5", 500 pounds, or you're dead to me. Like, Dad, no one can be that big.
Especially, dude, you're fucking like somehow you have a 6'5" kid.
Yeah, flip my height.
You'd have to fuck like a 7-foot chick.
An avatar?
Oh,
I mean, I
yeah,
might be
dude.
into that.
Hey.
That 11-foot blue Amazon?
All right,
Bet.
yes. Let's get back to football.
No.
Nah, let's stay on the pregnant side.
No, it's not that.
No, it's not.
No,
that.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, the transition tag for Bell. Whatever. We'll see what happens. Ultimately, he's probably not going to end up back in Pittsburgh.
No.
Do you think there's any possibility that AB and Le'Veon Bell end up on the same team somehow?
Yeah. Like, I mean, there's always a chance.
Like maybe like Le'Veon is telling AB like, yo, if you get traded here, like I'll go there. Like we'll run shit.
We're a package deal. They just
What if they
really
all
don't.
went to like the Brownies? They'd have 4 running backs. You're like, what the fuck?
They're
You-
just stocking
what
up
do you
running
need this
backs.
many running backs.
It's like playing fantasy football with Minnie. Dude, I remember one time that fool drafted he had like 8 running backs. We're like, dude,
Oh, did he want like running back, running back, running back,
They all
running
got
back, running
hurt.
back,
we
running
looked
back?
at the thing, it was like all the same color.
It's like, bro, you're passing up starting wide receivers for bench running backs. What do you do?
And they all got hurt somehow.
yeah.
Yeah, they all got.
Like,
Bro, I got the worst luck, dog.
like, he has the injury bug or fucking, I don't know. I lost half my team. I'm like, hey, you need to get some fucking. You need to start feeding your players some nutrients because they're all getting fucking
Dude,
hurt.
remember when we were playing, when we were at your parents' house, and he was like, He's like, man, these running backs keep getting hurt. He's like, it's breaking my heart. Your mom looked at him like, it's breaking your heart, dude. What the?
He said it like he was like in legit pain about it.
He
was
looked
like,
down.
I lost Kerryon Johnson, I lost Devontae Freeman, I lost so and so. He's like, it's breaking my heart. And me and my mom and Mike look at each other. My mom's like, it's breaking your heart, and we were fucking crying.
He doesn't even care about his own girlfriend that much.
No, not at all.
Dude, he saw it. He literally was like this. It's breaking my heart. Like looking down.
My mom's like, it's breaking your heart.
Like, calm down, dude. Yeah, the funniest part is that your mom told him to chill the fuck out. Oh fuck. Oh man, but yeah,
Good times.
football. What else are we talking about today?
I guess we could discuss possibly Fournette being traded. Rumors, or you guys hearing rumors about that? Does he have any kids too? I don't know. Maybe I'll
Probably.
look up that.
I mean, he looks like he's like
I was
35
gonna say
years
he's
old.
low key 65, so he probably has some kids.
But yeah, there's some rumors going around that Fournette might get traded. I mean, obviously they traded for Carlos Hyde mid-season last year. I was kind of baffled by that trade. Like, why would you trade for him? You know, Fournette's coming back. But maybe they're just fed up with him, you know, the injury bug. And you were saying something like his contract got voided because he one-hit KO'd some guy or tried to hit.
Yeah, he became one punch man, so he his guaranteed money got voided. It must have been something in the fine print that he didn't read before he threw that punch.
That is
It
crazy.
was like a $5 million punch or whatever his guaranteed was.
Jesus.
That would suck. I don't think anyone's worth punching for $5 million.
No.
Or whatever it is. I'm just throwing the number. It could have been like 2, but guaranteed money was probably good because he was the 4th overall pick, right?
It'd be pretty gangster if he was like, yeah, and I'll do it again, bitch.
Tell that motherfucker come back and see me again.
I'll pay another $5 million just to knock your ass
Just to
out.
beat that ass.
Oh, so this just in breaking news: Browns trade for Leonard Fournette. Dude, that's great.
Browns do back and straight for Leonard Fournette.
Like, so
And
we're just gonna
Le'Veon
throw you out there,
Bell.
and you're gonna punch the best player in the team. That's your job.
He's the
Bro, they-
enforcer now.
He's
They
the
just-
enforcer.
They just line up like every running back there.
They're just like 4 wide.
They have no wide receivers out.
4 running backs.
Four running backs. Split back. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, even if real talk back to like fantasy for a split second is where he would go, like where would he see 300 carries, 320 carries like he was? You know, he's been injury plagued. His career 3.7 yards per carry isn't anything sexy. You know, he's been dealing with injuries since college. So outside of Jacksonville, I really wouldn't be excited for him going somewhere else to. Yeah, this is a good defense. It should be better than it was last year. So at least they're going to be in games. And if they trade for Nick Foles, you know, it should be an upgrade in Bortles. So I don't really see anywhere where I would love the move for it. I mean, you'd probably be looking at more as like RB2, more than likely, depending on where he went.
Yeah, we got to pay attention to it because T.J. Yeldon's a free agent, so he could be on the move. He could be out of there. I mean, if let's just say potentially, hypothetically, they get rid of T.J. Yeldon in the free agency, they don't re-sign him, and then they do trade Fournette. Does that mean Carlos Hyde now becomes maybe like a back-end 1, high-end RB2?
If Fournette was gone too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you got to look at him in the. I mean, he's not going to be in the top 12.
He was getting it done with the Browns. I mean, he was up there, top 20 running back, top 15
He's
running
also
back,
a little
so.
older, though, too, as well. He'd be in the RB2 conversation just because of the way they've ran that team. They're like that old school smash mouth, run the rock type of team. So, I mean, I think a telling sign could be is if they draft someone, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I think they more than likely draft someone in the top 3 rounds at running back position. They're pretty set at defense. They've drafted a receiver in the first round the last 2, or was Chark a first round? I know what's his name was the year before. Westbrook was the first round, right, or second?
No, Westbrook fell to like the 5th round or some
Did
4th
he?
round.
Or he
Yeah.
was supposed to be a high draft pick, but they've invested some draft capital in receivers. You know.
Yeah.
I don't see them drafting receivers, so I could see them picking a running back in one of their top 3 picks to kind of back up Fournette.
Yeah. There's talk about them drafting Kyler Murray potentially. I think Blake Bortles' times over there is over. But it's just something to keep an eye on. There's still, like I said, a lot of chatter that they could potentially trade him and move on for him. So, I mean, if they're not going to give him the guaranteed money, they have no ties to him in a sense. So,
yeah,
maybe they try to get him. It'd be kind of tough. I mean, I guess they did draft him like 5th overall, 4th overall. So, probably be hard. They're definitely not going to get the draft capital back in return. So,
they got the money back.
yeah,
The owner's happy.
yeah.
Dude, how old is Leonard Fournette? I think I think he's like one of those guys, and like what's that movie where he's like, let me see your birth certificate, and then he hands him a paper with $20 in it, and it just says I am 13.
That was that was the baseball movie. What was that?
Benchwarmers.
Benchwarmers. He's like, I am 13.
Dude,
He's like, yep.
That's
I'm
how
13.
I feel like
It's
Leonard
legit.
Fournette.
What's crazy is he was clocked. I'm looking at this is kind of off topic a little bit. Is he was clocked at a 4.51.
Look at this picture of him.
That's what I was looking at too. I was like, I was literally about to laugh at that because I was like, Mike pulled up the same one. Look,
Like, dude, there's no way he's my brother's age. That's crazy.
he's
Dude,
like,
he does look
I
so
hope
fucking
so.
silly. I hope so. Yeah, dude, he does look silly as shit right there. But yeah, I mean, dude, the dude looks like he's fucking. He looks older than Tyler.
So that's a grown ass man right there.
It truly is.
Wow.
yeah, it's a grown ass man who watches you jizz.
Hey,
No,
bro,
he definitely doesn't.
get it
You
done,
think Leonard
dude.
watches it?
Dude, no, definitely not. No.
Dude, I don't. First of all, I don't appreciate you, Mister Extends, bashing on my UJIS. All right,
No,
no, I don't
because-
take fucking PEDs.
Yeah, with your tingly fingers and your.
yeah, my fingers.
You know
hurt.
what, dude? I think I think that's from McDonald's and shit, dude. I think I really need to quit eating so much fast food, man. I don't think it's a good idea.
You're just now thinking that.
Yeah.
Dude, you live off like fast food.
No, because-
Actually, I haven't seen you eat Cane's in a minute though.
I had it like 5 days ago.
It's on the Monday rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on my way to Chipotle, but I was like, I don't want to walk inside, so I pulled into Cane's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks
It's
for those
pretty
fries
understandable.
last night, dude. Those are the ones at the bottom
Dude,
of the day.
I told you if you came with me, you could get fries.
Thanks for my McFlurry last night, dude.
I told you if you came with me, I would get you.
Whatever. You're dead to me, Doug.
All right.
You're like to me what Fournette is to the Jaguars. There's
Dead.
no guaranteed money for this podcast for you, and you're on the trading block.
Who's some? All right, so let's take. Who's some kind of early players that are like going into next year that you guys are kind of excited about? Like I'll touch on one running back I'm kind of excited about is Marlon Mack. I think that Colts offense is gonna. He was down the stretch. He was pretty electric. He was there was games where when he first came back, I was skeptical because he played like the Jaguars and all these other tough defenses, and he was getting it done against like Houston,
Yeah.
some other teams, and he was getting it done against everybody. And they were a top 6 scoring offense this year. I don't see much changing. They didn't have any coaching turnover. If they draft another lineman or as well to even bolster that line that was really good last year, I think Marlon Mack could end up being low key a really good value this year. He's just a running back I'm really excited about.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk that the Colts could potentially get Le'Veon, but I don't think so. After seeing how Marlon Mack paid, I wouldn't go out and fork out $15 million a year for Le'Veon when Marlon Mack was pretty much getting the same exact thing done. So
Yeah, and they still have Naheem Hines and who's the Wilkins.
Jordan
And
Wilkins,
they're good
yeah.
enough to kind of make plays happen to where it's like okay, like this Hines was the more he was the pass catcher more, right?
Yeah, like the Sproles
think-
kind of guy.
Yeah, so you still have that role, and you have Marlon Mack as the first and second down. It's like spend the money on some holes on defense. You drafted the best rookie linebacker last year.
Yeah.
Spend some more draft capital on defense. I think the Colts could be a real conversation next year, and if he's going to be tied to a top 4 offense, he's someone I really like.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, I don't know. You got a list up there?
I'll pull up some ADP right now for you so you can take a look. Mike, or anyone you're kind of excited about for next year? Got any early man crushes?
Depending on if Mark Ingram's about to go somewhere, right? That'd be kind of interesting.
Probably.
Potentially.
I would draft. I also would almost draft Alvin if he leaves there. Draft Alvin Kamara super early, because he killed it in the first 4 weeks without Mark Ingram.
Yeah, I think the top. That's funny. Ezekiel's jumped to the number 1 kind of in ADP, the running backs. As of right now, I'd probably rank Saquon as my number 1.
Ooh, yeah.
And I was the most toughest on him coming into last year. So
I think you could still, that Todd Gurley, this whole fucking Super Bowl kind of screwed up Todd Gurley for everybody. Where's he at?
Todd Gurley, as of right now, he's the number 2. Saquon had 90 receptions last year.
He's just an animal.
He's
dude.
just, like I said, I was thinking about it at the gym. I was okay. I was kind of thinking about, because I have Saquon's my number one as of right now, more than likely, especially in PPR formats. And I was just like, because he did a little bit of dancing in college when I was watching the film and highlights, but he just has that 0 to 60 that, like, I don't know if there's another running back that gets to his full speed as fast as he does. And it's like he might look for the home runs, but when he hits, he's like Barry Bonds. Like, he's hitting more home runs than anybody. Yeah. You get some of these other guys who look for home runs and they dance and stuff like that. Like I said, I used the Reggie Bush comparison a few times, but Reggie Bush wasn't hitting home runs at like a Barry Bonds rate like Saquon is. And I think this offense was okay last year. I think they could address the line a little more. And, you know, he still has outside weapons to take away his you know, focusing on him. I think he can only, I don't know. I'm excited to see what he could do if the offense goes into the top 10.
You see that video of Saquon, what is it called when you fucking take the weight and you fucking throw it like this?
Power clean?
Yeah, I fucking thought it was power clean. Okay. Dude, he power cleaned like 405 or some shit.
He's a
like hang clean? Or
what, dude, fucking...
Dude, you're the buffest guy in the house. You should know this.
Yeah, dude, I mostly just lift people because, you know, there's not enough weights at the gym. So.
You see the one where Alvin Kamara was like pulling the car? Like, dude, it's nothing?
That was nuts.
He's in the conversation too for number one. The top 5 conversation is going to be really interesting next year.
Hey, if they get rid of Ingram, I think you can make a strong case for Kamara as being the number one.
Too.
Because he was the number one, or him and Gurley were neck and neck for that first 4 weeks, right, before Ingram came back. So it's yeah. Nick, you got any other man crushes early?
Just kind of going through that list. Someone that I wasn't high on this year, but going forward is Dalvin Cook. I think he's going to be a guy who I'm probably going to pay attention to. You know, towards the end of the year, you know, we kind of saw his potential. You know, he's one of those guys where
you were hating on him last year too.
Yeah,
yeah. But things change year to year.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
And it's like he you know. What I assessed on him was kind of accurate. I feel like, you know, he's still kind of banged up. We wouldn't know what he's going to get. Latavius Murray's going to be there, you know, getting a ton of run too, you know, goal line back, vulture some carries. So, you know, he didn't really produce until the end of the year when they actually switched the offensive coordinator. So, but just seeing how they started using him down the stretch, it was like reassuring to think like, you know, what a full 16 games with him, you know, he you know, we saw it his rookie year, the first couple games, how he flashed. And then we kind of saw it towards the end of this year, second year, what he is, how he flashed. So I'm interested to see like if you can get a full 16 games of that, like, I mean, you're easy looking at like a top 10 running back right there. So, and he can get it done through the air and the ground. I mean, even if they for some reason get rid of Latavius because he's a free agent and they don't sign him, it's only going to make me feel even more confident with him going forward. So.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. A lot of points for Dalvin.
Fucking science. Yeah. Yeah, no, I like Dalvin Cook next year. Like you know, Tyler said, like I don't think either of us really loved him where he was going. You know, we had a draft where it came down to he was in the 3rd round, and I was a little higher on him than you, and we both were like, no, in the 3rd round. I think we ended up going with Keenan Allen instead or something like that. But yeah, I like his outlook next year. You know, you saw what he could do when he gets that workload. They've been willing to give him the workload. You know, he's coming back from that. Yeah, that ACL injury. He's good to go. So locked and loaded. You got anyone, Mike, you could think of offhand?
No, I was just kind of excited about the Alvin Kamara thing. And then, I mean, I'm kind of curious as to where if Mark Ingram goes somewhere where he ends up. I mean, I don't know. That could be interesting.
Trying to think.
He is old, though.
I think someone I'm going to be a little excited on probably next year is Kenny Golladay.
Yeah.
I think he's just that. He makes those plays where he's just that big body, like freak athlete, like jumps over 2 guys. They call him Babytron, but he literally does some Babytron shit there.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and he kind of no Golden Tate in the picture next year. Matt Stafford's still there. Yeah, there'll be Marvin Jones, but I think Kenny Golladay could, you know, be a legit top 12 receiver next year. And he has that big play potential that you want to see. He has that takeover, you know, 150-yard, like even against good corners. Remember Tre'Davious White? We had that little like
you're like 150 yards.
Yeah, you're like I don't like him. I like him because the target volume. I didn't think 150, but you know he's shown that he can beat really good corners and kind of like have those takeover games. So he's a receiver I'm going to be really excited for next year.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see Amari Cooper going in the 5th round right there. Over guys, you got like got Landry going ahead of him. I mean Woods is pretty good, but I mean like. Cooks is kind of boomer bust. I mean, even Diggs is kind of like, you know, inconsistent sometimes too. Kind of crazy.
That turn right there is looking kind of like, so we're looking at like ADP right now, which is the average draft position. I mean, that receiver turn right there is pretty nice if you're like a top 3 pick. I mean, you have T.Y. Hilton, Adam Thielen, A.J. Green. You have say Cooks, Diggs. I mean, you could potentially get like an A.J. Green, T.Y. Hilton right there combo, something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think of offhand. A tight end I'm really excited about, though, is O.J. Howard next year. I'm kind of like, he might be one of my targets at tight end next year.
Yeah.
He was starting to have a little bit of a breakout in the second year, and he's like a freak athlete. You think of Travis Kelce, freak athlete. You think of Zach Ertz, like athlete. You think of Gronk when he was Gronk, not grabbing titties and throwing Tide Pods.
Not Tide Pod Gronk.
Tide Pod Gronk.
Tide Pod Gronk still won a Super Bowl.
True that.
Yeah.
He was a freak athlete, and O.J. Howard was a freak athlete.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited for him, especially if you lose Deshaun and you lose Humphreys to potentially. Those are two guys out of the way to clear the path for him.
Yeah. I mean, Humphreys, he's a tight end on paper, but he's pretty much just an oversized wide receiver.
Yeah.
So.
Anybody, Mike?
No.
Nobody.
Yeah.
No.
That was some of the news right there. Then you guys want to try to wrap this up, or?
I'm
Yeah,
like Philip
anything else
Rivers.
you
I don't
wanna
wrap up.
Oh, but
Actually, I do.
Like, do you ever?
ever since he got the clap down in Cancun, he fucking what was it? Oh, the clout, the clout. Remember we were talking about he got the clout.
No.
Dude, in the episode he wasn't here. He was in Cancun. We're like, oh, he's down in Cancun getting the clout.
I don't remember.
You don't remember that? Dude, someone came up to me and they're like, bro, what's the clout? I was like,
Wait, from
Go
this?
ask Anthony.
I forget what it was. Someone asked me that. They're like,
From
yeah, bro,
this?
your cousin got the clout, bro, or what? I was like,
Someone's gonna come up to me one day and be like, "I heard you got the clout, bro." I'm like, what?
you don't remember that? We're talking
No.
about all these Instagram models are always trying to get the clout and fucking posting naked pictures.
Mike must have been fucked up. Were you green on that episode?
Dude, you
Yeah,
need to
dude.
stop eating McDonald's.
Dude,
Yeah.
dementia runs in my family.
Dude, nobody runs in your family.
Yo, we all fat as fuck.
Your
Especially my
brother.
brother, dude.
Hey, your dad's more shredded than you, though, low key.
Yo, low key, it's irritating. Also, my brother's getting fat, so it's
Does that make you feel better about yourself?
yeah, it just makes me.
You're like, as
laugh.
long as he's fatter than me, I can eat whatever I want.
My brother's just a fat fuck. Dude.
But if he gets jacked, you're gonna be like, oh, I gotta cut out the McDonald's.
Dude,
and
my brother got married and he's about to have a kid, and he's like, "Well, looks like it's time to get fat. It's fat o'clock, I guess."
But is it supposed to make your like your seedling stronger
I don't know.
if you eat more and you have more weight?
Maybe. Do you wonder? I wonder if Philip Rivers, if anyone's like, "Dude, why don't you just pull out?" Then he probably looks at him like, "Wait, what do you mean?" And then they're like, "No, dude, just pull out."
Just
He's
blows,
like, he's,
blows his mind.
yeah, he's just like, "What are you talking about, dude?" No, dude, just like when you're having sex, you just pull out before
Like,
you come. He's like,
Why
"What?
would you, what would you pull out for?
Yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean, dude? Okay, I'm explaining this to you as best as I can. When you're going to have sex, right before you come, just pull out.
He's like, his face gets red. He's like,
Just fucking explodes.
Wait, that's a thing? You can do that?
All these homies on the team are like, yeah, dude.
I heard he like doesn't like swear either or anything.
Oh, he has to
He's-
swear, dude. He's always screaming at the refs.
Dude,
No?
he's Mormon.
Yeah, he's like,
He's Mormon.
he's like,
What the freak gosh darn gee willies.
Gee Willikers. Oh, gee Willikers, you call that holding? Dude,
he apologizes afterwards. I'm sorry I yelled at you.
that's
The Lord, I will ask the Lord for forgiveness.
dude, that's funny. Philip Rivers, you little pussy, dude.
Are we gonna end it on the Philip Rivers note?
Yeah. I'm
Is
down.
he flowing points?
He's flowing his fucking seed, dude. He's got that dandelion seed, bro.
Just
He just goes like this. He gets like 100 girls pregnant.
Right.
Sick, yeah.
Dude.
all right.
This has been the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast. We have full video format. We're on YouTube, so check us out. We don't have a custom URL because I don't have it yet. Because you have to have you have to have a certain amount.
We need
of-
100 subscribers.
Yeah,
That's what it
something like
is.
that.
So,
So
do us a favor, subscribe.
Subscribe to our
Just
YouTube.
help us out. Just go subscribe. Just click a little
Subscribe.
button. Takes 2 seconds.
Hey, say the
You do
word
something,
subscribe
you know
for
what
me
I'm saying?
really quick. Tyler, can you say the word?
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Okay. No beat. Subscribe. Subscribe, dude. Subscribe on our YouTube channel. Go on iTunes. Give us a rating. That helps us out a lot on the podcast app. Oh, and go check us out. We're on Twitch too. We post all the videos on there. On Facebook. Instagram's our biggest one where we I do a lot of big posts on there, so that's all those links are down below in the description. So check all that stuff out, you freaking filthy animals. If you would like some of this dandelion seed, I will send it to you directly. Just give me your P.O. box number, and I'll come to your house and give you some of this dandelion seed. Also, any other announcements? You want to follow me on my Instagram at Michael Marcanio. You can follow Anthony
/ the Dandelion Whisperer.
Yeah, / the Danny. I'm gonna put that in my bio. Anthony Ravelis. You can follow him at Anthony Ravelis, I think, right? And then
Yep.
I think it's Tyler, and Tyler's is at Tyler Ravelis 333 because I think it's something like that. No, I'm not sure.
I think it's something like
I
that.
think it's like Tyler Ravelis 6969. I fuck a lot. UJizz is my favorite website. That's his Instagram handle. That long. Yeah, so check us all out. And I'll love you forever. Also, this podcast was brought to you by Canes.
And Corona Premier.
And Corona Premier. And Miller Lite.
And
Bang Energy. Bang, bang. Whee! And, we're out.